white legs, folks.
So, wait, is Chris Rock? Does he pop up in one of them
The
too?
fourth one.
Okay.
I haven't rented the fourth one yet.
And
Got
if
Jet
I'm
Li.
not mistaken, they made a TV series out of that.
Damon Wayne.
Yeah.
Damon Wayans plays Murtaugh.
Did it just come on and off, and is it still a?
No, there's
it's
going to be
still a
another
thing.
season.
Okay.
It sounds like.
Did you watch any of it?
No, I think it's on Fox. I don't have Fox.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready to go.
All right, let's do it.
Welcome to Those 80s Kids Remember. I am Andy.
Brian.
Greg.
We're missing a kid today. We just want to ask you to keep Mike Headroom in your thoughts and prayers today as we continue on. We're all thinking about him.
Yep.
Wishing him the best. On today's show, we are going to talk about disasters and I guess other major news events that happened in the funkiest decade.
Did Johnny Loves Chachi count as a disaster?
Manimal, yeah. I mean,
There's a lot of things that they counted it as a disaster. We'd be here
Manimal.
for like days and days. So yeah. So I have my list here.
Manimal. Oh God.
but you didn't know there was going to be a Manimal
I?
reference
I
today, did you?
completely forgot about that. Oh my God.
So we'll go ahead and have a chronological list here.
Chronologically, okay.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Which one?
Starting and it's like 1980 in November. Oh wait, it's not exactly chronological. We'll start. Okay.
It doesn't matter as long as it's
Yeah. Okay. So May 18th in 1980. Any guesses to what happened? Did that ring a bell?
May of 80?
Yeah, May 18th, 1980.
I can't say because I saw the sheet beforehand, so that would be cheating if I answered.
So it's all on you there, Brian.
Is it the space shuttle thing? I don't think that, no, because that was like 83 or 4. You know what? I don't know. Was
Think-
the hijacking?
Nope.
Think kablooey. Think
blew up.
heat.
Something blew up real good.
Not the shuttle.
Nope. Natural.
Naturally blown up?
Yeah.
Wow, I have no idea.
Mount St. Helens.
Oh, okay.
The giant Mount St.
Yeah,
Helens
okay.
eruption. Now a bunch of people died in that too, didn't they?
57.
Not as many as I would have thought.
Well, you know,
Yeah, not enough.
it was a pretty, you know, it wasn't a heavily populated area.
Yeah, I would imagine that.
Volcanoes, so a lot of it was probably people who lived in the sticks and vacationing campers and stuff like that. But it did destroy 185 miles of
Good
highway.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's
Gee.
yeah, that's
Well, 'cause you
lot
probably-
of
That's a
green
lot of
highway.
real estate, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot
Probably
of
ended
area.
up with cooled off, molten rock and crap covering up the highways afterwards, didn't
Well, yeah, there's
Jeez.
what do they call it?
It had to look like a war
A
zone.
polyclastic flow.
you? Is that what it's?
The big cloud
Yeah.
Yeah.
that comes in. That's
Right.
what kills a lot of people. Not necessarily the lava itself, but the actual dust and ash and
They inhale it.
hot and it just
Yeah.
So did it turn into a smoke inhalation type thing for some of those who died?
I
I would
imagine.
imagine
I mean,
so.
you think of Pompeii.
Yeah.
That's what did all those people in
Right.
Pompeii. Just all that ash.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that in most fires it's the inhalation that kills
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
The weird thing about that is that's not one of those, like I don't remember really getting into that on TV. I probably saw it and went, I'm going to go watch soap. You know?
Right.
Because I was
Didn't affect me.
I was 10 at the time,
Yeah.
so it really didn't stick out. I do remember in '78 seeing the Jonestown thing. I remember
Right.
vividly,
Yeah.
vividly,
Yeah.
because it was such a weird image of all those bodies just
Yeah.
Oh,
spread
was that
out.
the Kool-Aid drinking?
Yeah, it was '78, and I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mount St. Helens not so much. God, I had no idea it was that much of an area
But
though.
can you imagine if that happened like today?
Oh
in,
God,
like
yeah.
in the 24-hour news cycle
News
that they had,
coverage
like,
that they would have.
everybody would be obsessing over
Yeah.
Mount St. Helens
Yeah,
erupts.
right.
possible
Oh, God.
terrorist attack. You know, everything would be all over. the
CNN would go to full coverage.
God.
Yeah.
Fox News would be proclaiming an attack on freedom.
That's Obama's fault.
It's Obama.
Obama's fault. He's looking for our guns again. That son of a bitch.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that was big. That was huge. I mean, I think that's pretty much.
That's the last time that's happened.
Well, it's
isn't
the
it?
first time I think
For
in
Mount St. Helens.
recorded modern history where they're in the continental U.S. Probably the biggest natural disaster.
I would imagine so. I mean,
Yeah,
based on
I mean, I don't know how if any other volcanoes even erupted. I mean, it happens in Hawaii all the time, but you know, or I'm sure maybe Alaska. I don't know,
Hawaii, I would think, yeah.
but not anywhere in the continent.
But not on that level.
Nothing like that. Moving on, then in November 27th in Las Vegas. I remember this, but probably because my parents went to Vegas a lot.
Okay.
There was the MGM Grand Hotel fire.
Vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, what year was that? Was that 81?
That was 80.
Okay.
Yeah, 87 people died in that.
Good
Wow,
God,
really?
More
really?
people died in that
87
hotel fire
people?
than the same Mount St. Helens
My
explosion.
God.
Yeah,
Wow.
87 people
How
died.
many died in that Chicago fire within, I don't know, past 6 or 7? Was it 100 plus?
I don't
I
know.
think it was. 87 though, my God.
Yeah.
I don't remember being that many.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How the hell did they not get out of there?
Fuck.
Big tall building.
The MGM, yeah. You'd
Yeah.
think they would have, had good fire detection.
Evacuation procedures of
Yeah.
some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and it could have been. I think it happened at night too, so there might have been a lot of people sleeping.
All that.
Oh, yeah. Security guy asleep at the...
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like you said, smoke inhalation kills more people than
Right.
so
Than
it
the
could have-
flames
yeah,
itself.
Yeah, so that could have had a lot to do with it. This kind of when I heard about it, kind of struck a chord to me because, like I said, my parents would go to Las Vegas a lot, and my dad had stayed. I think the last time before that, when he went to Vegas at the MGM Grand, and he brought me home a $1 coin or whatever slug for the slot machine. So
Sure.
That's
I
kinda
still
neat.
have one of those. I
Really?
still have that, yeah. So yeah, that kind of okay.
How did that, do you know how that started anyway? What happened?
Yeah, did they still list the cause? No.
No, I should have looked that up. That would have been something good to know. But no, I have no idea. You can all look that up. If anybody knows how that
Everybody
was caused.
look it up.
Sure,
You
it's
can chat
on.
with us on YouTube. You can tell me how it was caused and
Sure, it's
tell me
on
to do better
Wikipedia.
research. Yeah.
Everything is.
Yeah. And then the last thing major to happen at that year, 1980, on December 8th, John Lennon
Yep.
was murdered, assassinated out in front of his apartment.
In New York City,
New York
and
City.
there were cops crying, there were tears streaming down
Oh, just huge.
everybody's faces, and I remember that vividly. I remember everything about it. And
Really?
And that picture is the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I know you've seen it.
He's autographing,
He's autographing
an album
for
Chapman. Hours
You ever seen that
before.
picture?
Yeah.
Oh my!
It's hours before Chapman shot him.
Yeah, and Chapman looks so fucking creepy in that picture. He's just kind of staring at him and waiting for the autograph, and then within hours, Lennon is shot so senselessly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Chapman has to apologize for his lousy aim to this day.
Oh, that's right.
Trying to take, he was, you have to assume he was trying to take Yoko out and hit John accidentally.
If I'm not mistaken,
You have to assume that.
I mean, he's been apologizing for it ever since. Look, it was dark. Folks, I'm sorry.
Everybody's fantasized about taking Yoko out.
I'm sorry. It was dark. It kind of looked like they were standing close to each other.
Yeah, David Chapman, my God.
Yeah, what a
That's
weirdo.
as bananas as it gets, man. I think that's what pissed everybody off so much about it, other than feeling hurt. People were mad because it just didn't make any sense.
No, it was just
It was absolutely
no reason,
so senseless.
No reason for
No.
it. Nothing. No. Yeah. Like you said, there was just the senselessness of it.
And he had come to a point in his life. He had been a stay-at-home dad for like, I don't know, God, must have been close to a decade before he came back and did just like starting over that whole album.
Yeah, a bit like 4 or 5
4 or 5 years,
I
maybe.
think. Yeah.
So he was at a really good point in his life.
Yeah, he turned 40.
Yep,
that
turned
year.
40. He was doing great. The album Double Fantasy was doing great, despite the Yoko tracks on there.
Strategically placed at every other track,
Right.
so you had to listen to them.
You had to listen to them. Thank God for CDs now. You can just push through that shit.
And part of it, too, I think, was that when that happened, if you look back at it, you think, you know, I was like 4 years old when this happened, but people had to have been like, well, now there goes any chance
Of the Beatles getting
you
back
had
together.
of the Beatles, all 4 of
Yeah.
them ever doing
Right.
anything
Ever.
together again, ever.
Because they were, if I'm not mistaken, they were somewhat close once on SNL when they were trying to get the
John and
Paul tried to get something going. So I think had Lennon lived another, I don't know, let's say 10 years, I think some kind of reunion would have happened. I think.
Probably.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah. But once that happened, it was just like, nope, never going to happen.
No, not gonna happen now.
Because the check thing on
Yeah,
Saturday Night Live
Lorne
with Lorne
Michaels,
Michaels, where he offered them $3,000
Right.
to unite.
They were united.
They saw it.
Yeah.
They were at Lennon's place and
Yeah,
they saw it,
right.
but they were too tired
Yeah.
to go down.
There's no telling what condition they were in, but yeah.
They were
Yeah.
probably stoned
Oh,
out of
I'm
their
sure
gourds,
they
I
were.
imagine.
Okay, and then going to 1981, just a mere 3 months later, on March 30th, was the attempted assassination on President Reagan.
John Hinckley, who is now out.
Is he really?
He is
That
out.
just happened, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe he is still under supervision of some kind, but yeah, he's out. Which strikes me, which I found that really odd.
Was
that they let him out after a presidential assassination.
was Hinckley? Was he like a kind of a mental case like Chapman was? Was that the deal?
Wasn't he the one who was trying to impress Jodie
Foster.
Okay.
He was obsessed with Taxi Driver, and he thought, as we all do, that a homicide would be a good way to get to a chick. So he thought Jodie Foster, who, by the way, was not acting at this point. I think she was at Yale at this point. He thought, this will impress her. Watch this, you know. And I'm sure that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some messed up stuff
It
right
is.
there, man.
It really is.
So he tried to gun down Ronnie.
Right. That I remember because my entire, how old were you when that happened?
8.
You were 8?
Almost 9.
Okay. And it
No,
was-
wait. 81? 9. Almost 10.
Okay, so I was 11, so I vividly remember them taking us from our classrooms into the cafeteria to watch one TV screen. You know?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, the whole school gathered in there to watch it because it was such a big deal. Yeah, so I remember that like it was yesterday.
I suppose all the 3 networks probably had
Oh yeah,
coverage going like mad on it.
yeah.
Yeah, that was I remember.
Did you repeat?
And it was
Buckwheat has been shot.
Let's go to the club.
Well, let's take a look. That was so great. Yeah, we have to mention Buckwheat being shot too at the same time.
And Mary Gross to an alfalfa.
Yeah, that was
The best thing about that, when I saw that, because I snuck out, I know I told you about this. I thought it was real. Man.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Because
You're like, holy shit, somebody killed
somebody
Buckwheat.
shot Buckwheat.
What's
Jesus.
the deal?
Because the babysitter was out there watching Saturday Night Live, and I snuck out of bed.
He thought she was watching some news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was Ted
Ted
Koppel.
Koppel. Right. Yeah. And it looked like legitimate news.
I was like, oh my God, did somebody shot Buckwheat.
And then reality sets in when you see Mary Gross
I saw it
playing
was,
alfalfa.
it was as soon as Alfalfa came on the screen, I started catching on that the whole thing was a joke. I'm hurt
Oh, God.
and confused. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, Inkligo, Jesus. Yeah, like Chapman, the guy's just a full-blown nut.
Okay.
But still, an attempted presidential assassination, I would think that'd be lifetime without any chance of ever getting out.
We didn't actually kill him.
True.
But he
True.
did kill somebody.
He did kill.
Brady.
Oh, did he kill one of
Brady.
the security guys?
Brady didn't die. Brady.
Did he?
Brady. No, because when they came up with the Brady bill years later, he was there for that.
Okay.
He was his wife was having to change his pants and stuff and bathe him. And, yeah, I mean he suffered extreme.
You.
He suffered extreme brain damage is a punchline now. I'm going straight to hell. But yeah, she had to bathe him and stuff. I mean, he was brain damaged completely. His life was ruined. But wasn't someone killed during that too, though?
Was
there another Secret Service guy? I think there was a Secret Service guy who was killed.
Yeah.
And then Brady was obviously hit right in the head.
God. Well, I suppose though you sign up for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not specifically to get to become handicapped for the rest of your life, but
you certainly know it's a possibility.
But you're
any and every day.
Yeah, you can get killed at any time. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine they list that in their job detail.
Yeah.
Hey, lots of travel, you know. Stand around, you get to hang out with the president, look cool.
And Reagan survived it. Christ, how old was he then?
God, dirt old.
I mean, yeah, because he was super old when he was elected.
Wasn't he up over 70?
I was going to say he was 72-ish when he was elected, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and if he was in 80, would have been his first year.
Right.
So I remember seeing footage of Jay Leno on David Letterman in like 1983 talking about how Reagan was going to consult with his senior advisors about this problem they were having with Russia about some plane or something. And he's like, "It's senior advisors." He's like, "The guy's 73 years old." He's like, "Where the hell are they going to find these people?" The whole country's only a couple of hundred.
That's back when Jay was funny.
Jay was
extremely funny back then.
Okay, and then moving on to, in 1981 also was when the AIDS virus was identified.
Oh, that was weird.
Prior to that, I think it was referred to as the homosexual, and using a nice word here, cancer.
God's out for gay people.
Yeah. There's still people that for years and years and years thought it was some kind of government created thing to eliminate weirdos and perverts and all that stuff in the disco era.
I know you were trying to throw euphemisms, but it was God hates fags, basically.
Well,
and that's when people started hearing that. You hear it. I was going to say you hear it now.
Yeah.
The Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh, absolutely.
They have those signs up all the time.
Yeah. And then there was, well, some guy had sex with a monkey, and
yeah,
wonder where the hell did that come from? You know?
Right.
Yeah, right. I think the rumors were that it came from Africa,
from Haiti.
Right? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
okay.
From Haiti, I think.
And it was also, I think, early '80s when Rock Hudson announced that clearly something had gone awry with his, because you could tell by his looks.
Oh, sure.
He looked totally different.
Yeah.
And then everybody found out he was
gay.
He was gay, yeah.
Yeah, because he died in like, what was it, 85 or somewhere around there?
That's when nobody came out as celebrities.
No.
I mean, you had your assumptions. Well, Elton John, I mean, it's pretty in your face. But
Liberace.
Right, Liberace. I mean, Jesus. But those guys weren't trying to hide it. But that was definitely during a time when the celebrities didn't come out at all. And
the basic attitude, in the population was like, well, they deserve it. It's God's will to, because you're defying God in the Bible, and nobody cared. But I think the thing that really kind of turned that around, and I don't know if I've got his first name right, but his last name was White, I think. The kid.
Ryan White.
Ryan White.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at Ryan White. When I think of White, I think of Mr. White, and I think of Eddie Murphy's kid. Mr. White when he went out and took over as a white guy.
Oh,
right. I'd like to buy this newspaper. Oh,
look.
What a silly Negro. On that bus, the one black person gets off, everybody starts dancing. And
Cocktail party breaks out.
that's funny.
We don't have to deal with any of these formalities, do we, Mr. White?
Pay it back whenever you can. Or don't. Don't pay it all.
Mr. White.
What a silly Negro.
I'll take care of Mr. White.
But yes, Ryan White. That was correct.
Yeah.
And
The kid, yeah.
he became, he got to know Elton John through that.
Oh, did he?
That
Yeah.
whole deal. Yeah.
Well, and even today, if you read stuff going back about the Reagan administration and the guys in the Reagan administration, like not
They
giving
wouldn't say anything about
not
it. They
giving
wouldn't
two
acknowledge
shits.
it or
Yeah.
about HIV and AIDS,
And the
basically,
epidemic that it was turning into.
until they like basically had to say something about it because it was getting into heterosexual territory and
Right.
everything.
Right.
Really?
Well, yeah,
Supposedly.
and then it was discovered. Okay, blood transfusions can cause it. Remember, there were rumors that
Drug
toilet
use?
seats would
right,
cause it,
yep.
and
The
Yeah.
what?
toilet seats. That if you said on a
Saliva.
yeah, saliva toilet
was
seats
another
could
one.
cause it. People were afraid to do fucking anything.
Toilet seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a big one. Oh my God, drinking glasses.
Right.
Yeah,
If you
drinking
drank out of the same
fountains,
glass
Yeah.
or can.
People
as
were
somebody-
scared to do anything.
Yeah, because there was so much misinformation that
Right,
went
it
around
was,
about it.
and it panic just set
It's-
it off.
I mean,
Emotion.
It's kind of funny to look back at it at the time.
It is.
Because it's so ridiculous now.
Right, and that went on even into what was it, 90?
Into the 90s.
And when
man,
Magic
yeah.
announced he had AIDS, Karl Malone said, "Well, he's got a free shot to the basket every time he drives because I'm not getting near him." And you look back and you're like, "Wow, somebody really said that."
Yeah.
And Karl Malone's a good guy, but
Yeah.
again, that just we didn't know anything about it. No one knew enough about it.
I think he's pretty religious, too.
Yeah, I think he is too.
And yeah, there was, because after Magic announced that he had AIDS there late 91,
Yeah.
he played in the All-Star game a couple of months after that.
Yeah. Oh, and he had a bunch of threes
he
and
played-
he won MVP.
Because everybody was afraid to guard him.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he was getting a lot of open shots.
Yeah.
And so he hit like a bunch of threes and he got MVP. Yeah, what a weird time. And everybody knew he was gay. Everybody knew Magic fucked pretty much
Magic
everybody
got
in
it from,
LA.
from like
He admitted later on that he, would,
from like 1,000
it'd be one-
women or whatever.
one chick at one time. He was like, yeah, sometimes it's 4s and 5,
He was Magic
Yeah.
in LA.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He
In
was
Los Angeles
Magic-
playing for the Lakers.
Magic in his prime in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah. And then there was all the jokes, of course, that went around about, hey, what? I don't even know if I should repeat.
What?
What does Magic stand for? My ass got infected, Coach.
Oh my God! I don't remember that at all. It's
Oh my God.
too much.
Somebody thought that one up today. I was like, oh my God, it's perfect.
It's not an infected coach. Jeez. And he ultimately ended up being done. I mean, because of that, and he was done. He tried a brief comeback in the late '90s.
Yeah, when he was like big.
Where he was a lot
big.
bigger, right?
He was like playing center.
Yeah.
And I thought at the time, I thought, oh shit, Magic's gonna die.
I did too. And then year after year, you're like, okay, he still looks good. Okay, he still looks good. 20 years later, all right, he still looks like Magic. He's not aging even.
Yeah.
He still
Yeah.
he looks like he's still in great shape. So,
Is
yeah.
he still alive?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he works for the
I
Lakers.
think
Yeah.
that kind
In
of
the front
shows
office.
the disparage of those infected with the virus who had money against those who didn't have money because the government was just in such
Right.
denial about it.
That was part of the point I was going to make
Yeah.
too when Brian said that, Magic never died. He never got sick or anything.
Right.
Well, I was like, well, he's, had access to all the best care and the
Right.
best
In the
drugs
world.
and everything. Yeah.
So yeah, basically back then it was. I mean, if you didn't have the money or resources, it pretty much was a death sentence. And and compared to today, where
those pictures,
it's not necessarily your immediate death.
Right.
You can manage it.
Those
as well as
pictures
you
of
can
people
today.
from back then.
Oh God, I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
They're horrific.
How gaunt they were.
They're
emaciated. Yeah, that's pretty much why they, or what was depicted in the movie Philadelphia. And I know that's early '90s, but that's pretty much what that movie was about.
Right.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks was a great lawyer, gets fired by his firm because they find out that he's got AIDS.
Right.
So, and I remember that scene where Denzel shakes Tom Hanks' hand, and then Hank says he's got AIDS, and Denzel like backs off.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wash my hands here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that panic mode lasted for a long time.
It did. It was into the 90s.
Yeah, it went all the way into the 90s.
Okay. That's that. I guess I didn't find anything, or I forgot to look for stuff at 83 and 84 because I just jumped right to 85. In 1985, the famine in Ethiopia was at its peak.
We are the world.
Which in itself spawned USA for Africa, so, and we are the world, whichever is the bigger disaster.
Yeah. All depends on what side of the pond you're on, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're in Ethiopia, the hunger is worse. If you're on this side, I think We Are the World was the bigger tragedy.
Well, it was just a bad song, man.
Oh, it was awful.
And you had Lionel Richie, Quincy Jones, and Michael Jackson.
Everybody,
and that's all they came up with.
Sting, I think, was in it. Yeah.
Well, and then you had the UK getting together to, and they came up with Band-Aid.
Band-Aid,
and that song was good. It was a pretty good song. Do they know it's Christmas? Yeah.
Oh, with George Michael.
With George Michael and
Bono.
Duran, Simon Le Bon.
Thank God it's them instead of you.
That's actually a decent song, but I don't understand why we couldn't come up with something a little bit better than We Are the World.
That We Are the World shit, that was just
It was terrible.
That was
just terrible.
Heard it on the radio actually a few weeks ago.
Did you really?
Yes. We were driving into the grocery store and it came on as we're driving in the parking lot. We sat in the car to listen to it. It was me and Lincoln, and he's probably heard the song before, but not too familiar. So as the people are coming out, that's this person. That's this person.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
A couple of people that I couldn't identify.
Kenny Rogers, Cyndi Lauper, Billy Joel.
Billy Nelson was in there, and then I think Glenn Frey.
That was just one of those.
Maybe.
Like, you try to explain that song to a kid now, and it's like, you had to be there, I guess.
The time.
If I'm not mistaken, LaToya made her way into the fix there. Yeah.
Diana
Ross.
Ray Charles.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Ray Charles was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Springsteen in there. I remember Kenny Rogers. I remember Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, but I do remember seeing those images.
Yeah.
Kim Carnes.
She was in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And being and like that was my first like exposure to people starving.
Really?
And it was like, whoa,
well,
like the people from Ethiopia. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah. That was bad news.
It was just like, how is this even happening?
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Where do these people live?
Right.
That they're like this.
Right.
In child logic, well, move.
Yeah. Why don't they go get something to eat?
Well, then you had
go to McDonald's.
I think you have a lot of people, and I still think you have a lot of people who are fearful that if they donate, they're going to be scammed. Because that was happening too. People take advantage of that.
Right.
And that's unfortunate. I think that still goes on. I think people are afraid that if they donate something, it's going to go, to the wrong person.
Right, and there's a lot of corrupt government that probably caused it, with the drought, and then plus
quite possibly,
the corrupt government that would have caused that. And then there is some truth to it, to where teach a man to fish, give him a fish, or teach a man to fish, to where if you throw money at the problem, it's not necessarily going to fix the problem. You're just going to have to keep throwing money out of it.
Okay.
It.
It'll be a Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly.
Good night, folks. That was terrible, and I apologize.
Costanza leaving on a high note.
That's it.
So yeah, there's that, and then I think kind of I guess it was maybe back in the 80s where it came into awareness that Africa is just a hotbed for bad stuff.
Like just
Suffering, yeah.
fucking bad fucking everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I don't know, the poverty and everything led to. I mean, that's
The
AIDS,
apartheid and all that
well,
shit.
and the
Yeah.
AIDS virus
Right.
goes through wildfire there, and again, a lot of misinformation
Yeah.
about how
Yeah.
you can cure yourself
Right.
from the AIDS virus and all of that. So, and I think a lot of that came into consciousness of well, we can't just keep throwing money at it. There has to be real stuff that has to be
Yeah.
set up to help, basically help them help themselves,
Yeah.
and kind of thing like that.
But I remember those commercials too. They were disturbing. They
Yeah.
really were. My God.
Remember
Sally Struthers.
Sally Struthers.
Oh my God.
I remember
She was their spokeswoman for 20 years.
Sally Struthers. Yeah, that was how I knew her as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until Nick at Night started showing reruns of All in the Family.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
She
Yeah.
had a job.
I was like, holy crap, it's Sally Struthers.
Well,
It's
because
like
All in the
it's-
Family had gone off the air probably around the time you were born. Close to it anyway. Probably a little bit after.
I was a little kid. I remember Archie Bunker's place.
Archie Bunker's Place. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I remember when
Yeah.
I was a
The
little
little
kid.
girl in there, all that stuff.
Yeah, the bar.
Yep.
Had you guys seen that South Park episode where they do that with Sally Struthers and sending food?
Yeah,
And
where she's eating all the
she's
food.
eating all the basically Jabba the Hutt in this place.
She's talking like Jabba the Hutt. Oh,
Oh my God. No. But she did that for a long time, man. I mean, it got to the point where you forgot she had even been on All in the Family.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you knew her more from
I was
that.
like, my God, has Sally Struthers had a life before she was
Right.
helping feed starving children in Africa?
And I hate to say it, but I did change the channel every time she came on.
Yeah.
She came to just, I was annoyed by her.
Yeah,
And the images were hard to look at.
yeah, and I hate to say it looking back on it now, but I would change the channel or leave the room or
Right,
something
yeah.
just because I couldn't stand.
Right.
Like she just rubbed me the
The
wrong,
wrong way.
man.
Me too. Me too.
Her voice was just terrible.
Yep. Yes.
I
Yeah.
think that was probably because I don't know that you saw her a lot in those commercials.
No.
It was mostly the images of the starving
It
kids.
started out with her being
Yeah, but
seen, and then it
her
went straight to the
voice, like,
images.
I'm gonna cry.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah. All you need to do is just yeah. Oh goodness.
In Living Color did a spoof of her doing those too. I remember. Kelly Caulfield, the white gal in Living Color, played Sally Struthers, where she just keeps eating up, snatching all the food from the starving kids. And I've been here for 2 years, and these kids just keep getting hungrier and hungrier. I just can't understand it.
okay.
Sorry, I was on my phone. I was earlier. We were talking about fires, and I thought there was a Chicago one with a lot of fatalities, and this one's only got 21. So
Oh,
A
that's
Chicago
not-
fire,
that's
really?
not enough.
yeah, that's
Not
nothing.
enough to
thought it
even
was-
mention.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
The nightclub fire. A lot of people.
Oh yeah.
That was a stampede issue.
I
though.
remember that now.
Yeah, I think was it a pyrotechnics thing that went out of control, and then people started trying to
I'm not
flee.
sure
And
what.
there was a lot of people getting stepped on and shit like that, which is just crazy to me. God,
Yeah.
anytime someone dies being stampeded over, it's just crazy.
When was it?
2003.
Oh, you're talking about that Great
Nightclub.
White.
Is that what it was? Was it the Great White thing?
That was one where Great White, they had like 30 freaking people or something died. That video is horrific too.
I've seen that.
Because
Yeah.
that news guy was there with his camera. You could hear people screaming on the inside of the building with black smoke billowing out of it. It's horrifying.
I don't think this one's that one. This is a different one.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it was, but it happened around that time.
But it did
too.
happen around that time.
Dumbasses had like egg carton styrofoam up on the frickin' walls and the ceiling, and they had pyrotechnics on the inside of a frickin' club bar. God. Anyway,
Okay.
speaking of disasters, I think you've got one lined up
Yeah,
for
I
us,
do.
Andrea.
We have not necessarily a disaster, I guess, but the major news: terrorist hijack of TWA flight
Oh.
847. I thought I had more notes to that. But
Oh.
What year was that?
85.
It's 85? Okay.
Yeah, see, that would have been another one, too, where I was there and I saw it on the news over and over again, but I was too damn young to care. You know?
I was 14. You'd think I would have cared more, but I did. I mean, I cared, but I didn't get into. I got more into what.
Like, oh, that's terrible. Do we have pudding pops?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. Hey, sadly. Yeah, you look back on it, you're like, okay, maybe I should have cared a little bit more, but
yeah.
But when you see it, and you're like, oh, that sucks.
Did anybody die in that?
I don't think so. I'm remembering. And I'm trying to think.
I know in that Olympic '76 hijacking deal, that one people died.
I think this was. I think it was a Lebanese terrorist. I think, but everybody was off the plane, and they were just basically, by the end of it, they were just had the captain or the pilot and the co-pilot in there, maybe some crew, but they let all of the passengers off the plane.
Well, they did. Okay.
Yeah,
Did Dirty Harry get in there?
Okay.
Poses the pilot. Sorry to ask you this, Captain, but have you ever flown a plane?
Never had a lesson.
Never had a lesson.
Sit
Down. Love that scene. Oh my god.
I don't know if anybody got hurt. I don't think anybody died, but I do remember images of
because
that
it was terrorist and it was an attack.
Yeah. And I remember, I think the one particular image, and I could be wrong, this could have been a 70s hijacking, but probably, I don't know. But the image of the pilot with the open window and the cockpit.
Oh,
and
okay.
waving something.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I think that's what hijack that was. There were quite a few in there.
Yeah.
But this one kind of, I guess, made a lot of lists. So.
Word has it that it was a very attractive stewardess's panties. He was just letting everybody know he sealed the deal. That's why they call it the cockpit.
Mission accomplished, motherfuckers. God.
Wow. Okay, so there's that. And then moving on to 1986. On January 28th.
Yep.
73 seconds into its flight is when the Challenger
boy.
space shuttle exploded, killing.
Oh wow! Is that the Sally Ride thing?
No.
The teacher and
The teacher.
Okay.
and the astronauts and everything.
All 7 of the crew, including the teacher, Kristen McCullough.
Yes.
Yeah, Kristen
Is
McCullough.
that her name? Was her name?
Kristen McCullough.
Yeah, I could never remember her damn
Well, she
name.
was all excited because she wasn't an astronaut.
No,
she was
she
getting to go up in
wasn't.
space.
She won a contest.
Yeah.
Or something.
It
That's
was
right.
weird,
That's exactly
yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, it was a weird set of circumstances. Yeah.
What a prize.
So, of course.
Congrats! What?
Congratulations.
And they had kids all over in school that were taking time out of school to watch this thing live.
And
There's a lot of coverage on that
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And I know you had said, I was in junior high when this happened. I can't remember if 7th or 8th grade, but I know you had said that you guys had TVs in the classroom when Reagan was shot.
Yeah.
I was in elementary school, so I don't know if that's maybe why, but this is, and I lived in Hawaii at the time, so the time difference was huge. And when I got to school, I mean, it already had done and happened like hours before that.
Because you're behind.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but when I walked into my classroom that day, late as usual, there was the TV was on and this was going on, and it's like I had no idea it happened, but that's all we did all that day. Was
But because of the time
watch
change,
TV.
it probably happened while you were asleep.
Yeah. So that was the big moment, I guess, when I was in school where we had the TVs in there, and
I don't remember if anybody was watching. I don't remember if anybody watched it in my school as it happened. I don't know. I remember the aftermath, and I remember a teacher I had. I was in 3rd grade. This was like 2 days after the '85 Bears won the Super Bowl. By the way, the Challenger blew up.
Okay.
But Miss Van Horn had like all these. She was like borderline in tears over the. She was like the lady that hugged all the students every day and all this. and she
Super
had
emotional.
newspaper clippings up
Yeah.
of people crying and the family of the astronauts and all this and everything. And she had us. We were just spent the whole time we were in her room that day talking about the Challenger blowing up and all this. And then of course you had that classic Punky Brewster episode where Punky came home to what's his name crying because she saw the Challenger blow up.
Oh wow! Yeah, well, yeah, it was. It was everywhere.
Yeah,
that was definitely the biggest.
Oh no, Punky! No.
God, Punky ended up hot. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, Salil Moonfry. Yeah, I remember seeing her on Jenny Jones in the mid '90s.
I remember seeing her on some talk show. It could have been Jenny.
That one where
Jenny
Jan
Jones was so annoying, but
from the Brady Bunch was acting like a total bitch to these
Yeah.
people in the audience.
Yeah.
She was just doing it to
Yeah.
get paid. You
Right.
could tell.
Yeah. By the way, another fire update. The Great White Thing was in 1996, or I don't know what year it was. I had to look again. 96 people died, and that was the Great White Thing. That's a lot of fucking.
That was like 2003 around there. Yeah.
Jesus.
All that
it was
footage.
and it was in Rhode Island.
Yeah, that footage. That footage. Is
I remember seeing that.
Still on YouTube if you'd like to check it out.
Well, because
disturb yourself.
Well, because the video has audience members who aren't aware that anything's happening yet.
No.
And then all of a sudden, everything's
They
happening.
think it's part of the show.
Right. They
for
think
a
it's
few
part of the
seconds after.
pyrotechnic show. Yeah. That guy, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going to charges. He was sued, charges filed against him. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't think he did it on purpose. I just think, I just think he was an idiot and probably shouldn't have been doing the job that he was given.
The Challenger, in the aftermath, now, I've talked about this before, that if something like that happened today, and I heard a bunch of 9-year-old kids repeating the things that my classmates and I were repeating after the Challenger blew up.
What were you guys repeating?
Oh my God, jokes.
The Challenger jokes.
Yes.
Like, what does NASA stand for? Need another 7 astronauts.
Yeah.
Dear God.
What was Krista McCullough's last words?
What?
What's this button do?
Oh my God! Oh my God! That's awful.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, but that's funny though.
And I remembered that.
That's good stuff.
I remembered that.
The new sponsor.
My entire life, I remembered that joke. Like, it's terrible.
Why does Tang sponsor NASA?
Oh my God!
Because they couldn't get 7-Up.
Oh my God! Well, and I think you were right though. I think she did win a contest, and that's why she was going.
Yeah.
And what a prize!
Yeah.
Here's another
won a trip to die in space.
Here's one of the worst ones. Here's one of the worst ones. What's Krista McCullough's favorite shampoo? Like, well, I don't know, but they found her Head and Shoulders on the beach.
Oh my dear Lord!
Think about it now. If you heard a bunch of 9-year-old kids repeating that shit, wouldn't you be like, "What is the matter with you, you little psychopath?"
You would have people probably videoing that with their phones and putting it on YouTube. Look at these little shits.
We were sitting here laughing, and I just remember saying to somebody else, I was like, "Just don't let Mrs. Van Horn hear me saying that. Like, she'll have our asses if she hears
you were how old though? You were 9?
Yeah.
Oh God, at that old, everything's funny. At that age, I mean everything. It can be an obnoxious age, and you don't really have that kind of empathy at that level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it was.
What's this button for? That's great. That's good shit. I'd never heard that one until today.
And it was. I think, as far as our generation goes, it was kind of up until 9/11, kind of the Kennedy assassination.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Where were you?
It was the moment. Yeah.
And I don't know if that had a lot to do because the news coverage was going all day long, and I don't know if it was in a response to because CNN was, you know, new.
Oh, that's right. It was very
burgeoning
new.
with the, you know, like I said before, the 24-hour news cycle. I mean, they could just,
Cable news, yeah.
they could just focus on that all
That
day
age
long
had
and-
just started. It was in its very inception. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think networks felt they had to keep up with that. But then again, I mean, that's pretty much what happened when Kennedy was assassinated.
Right.
You know, programming was just screwed for God knows how long. But yeah, and then I remember the whole investigation of it going into, it was the O-rings, or, you know, the frame by frame
Of the
analysis
Challenger blowing
of it
up.
blowing up, and it's like, I don't know, in one day you must have seen that damn thing blow up like 100
Right.
times.
Right. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they repeated that. I love that.
Yeah.
When did baby Jessica happen? Jessica
Oh my God.
McClure in that goddamn well.
I just
forgot about that.
saw it was the 30th anniversary of it,
It was
Okay.
later 80s.
1987,
Was that 87?
because I was reading a friend of ours. Her dad has a barber shop, and he gets magazines there all the time. And she gives me these magazines that get handed down, and it was a People magazine from like a few months ago.
Mhm.
And baby Jessica, she's 30 years old.
Right.
She has like 2 kids of her own now.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that story was
Oh, yeah.
huge.
the
I
whole
hate to
was
say
like
I got
this
sick
big.
of it.
Yeah.
I know.
It was
Yeah.
like this freaking big.
I
That's
hate
horrifying.
to see it, but I got so sick of seeing that fucking thing on the news.
All the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
It was too much. It was
My
just,
mom watched it all
God
the time.
almighty, there was nothing else on.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the OJ trial. It's like, Jesus Christ, there's got to be some other channel that's not carrying this shit.
Baby Jessica, that's right.
The child down the well thing. It must have been like a generational thing, because that kind of happened a lot, and, you know, a lot.
Yeah,
And
people getting trapped in
wells and
right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The miners.
Yeah. Kind of like a generational, where it was kind of like a big, oh my God, kind of thing for people in my parents' generation, kind of going
I
back.
think they made a movie.
People get stuck in
I
wells
think
all the
Mark
time.
Wahlberg was in some movie about one of those incidents, I think.
Really?
Which made me think of when I watched the other day Mark Wahlberg talking to animals.
Say hi to your mother for me. Hi.
Hey, I'm gonna
You know
talk to
me.
a chicken. You know me. I'm Mark Wahlberg. Hey, chicken.
Let's go talk to some animals.
So you're a giraffe. So like, what's up? What's that all about? Oh, well, say hi to your mother.
I like your fur. It's really neat.
It's so stupid.
That's probably the best thing I've ever seen him do. Actually.
Yeah. It's
That's
so
his
you're so
finest.
hilariously
Yeah.
random. Yeah.
So also in 1986, we have in the USSR the Chernobyl nuclear reactor
Oh
number
my
4
God.
meltdown.
That was 86, huh?
Yep,
Wow.
April 26th. It was one of those April 26th. You know about the April 26th conspiracy or whatever?
Oh
There's
God.
something. There's like ties, and I can't remember exactly. With like a lot of major things have happened, or a lot of
Columbine,
notoriously-
Hitler, or something,
Yes,
stuff like
yes.
that. Was that?
April 26th.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
237 people affected with acute radiation sickness.
Oh, what was that? A reactor
God.
exploding or something,
Yeah.
or malfunctioning?
31
Shit.
people died 3 months later from the acute radiation sickness.
Oh.
They were doing a maintenance on that reactor.
Somebody came to work with a hangover.
If something malfunctioned. They were shutting it down, and the rods didn't pull out or something like that, and they weren't able to get it back online or some crap like that, and it
Wow.
just chain reaction after chain reaction caused it to melt down.
Because there was people that lived around there.
Oh yeah,
And,
in Belarus and
they just had to go. Just don't grab anything. Just get
Get
the
the
hell
fuck
out of
out
here
and just
now.
go.
yeah, oh yeah, and
Yeah.
I've seen like the YouTube videos of it. I mean, it's like a ghost town. There's like plates still on the table, and I forget the name of the
I've seen the movie,
city.
the Chernobyl Diaries.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I have
Horror
not
movie.
seen that. I've not seen that.
It's all right.
Sorry.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
There's some YouTube footage of somebody at one of their drones, and they're like flying all over.
Checking out
Yeah,
the.
That's scary stuff, man. That's
Yeah,
scary
I know.
shit.
I wouldn't want to go
That
there.
is scary, scary stuff.
I can't remember the name of it. I think it's I'm not even going to attempt it because I'm not even going to say it right. But yeah.
That was wasn't that kind of like a big thing that got people scared of nuclear power?
Absolutely. Well, and then back then, I remember, because this is right around the time of my pretentious phase in high school, where anti-nukes and all that kind of crap.
Poisoning the planet, man.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and I guess some countries it shouldn't be without it because who knows
what could happen,
what their operating
what the
standards
potentials are.
I mean, and I don't think personally there's better ways of using energy. But
the nuclear power thing went into the 90s yet because watch early episodes of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because where Homer works at a nuclear power plant, and there's all sorts of nuclear radiation jokes.
Right.
In the first few episodes of
Yeah.
And that's into the early 90s.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, and the whole nuclear thing was huge because in the end of the 70s there was 3 Mile Island.
Yeah.
Which I don't know exactly what happened there, but there was a scare. There was an actual meltdown, but there was a meltdown scare, and then that triggered that movie with Jane Fonda.
Oh, and Michael Douglas was in
On Golden Pond?
Yeah, that
was. No,
Barbarella.
You're
China Syndrome. I think
Michael Douglas is in that too.
Yeah. So there was that, and then also with Meryl Streep, we had Silkwood, where she worked at a
Henry Fonda. That goddamn kid.
She worked at I think it was a ammunitions nuclear plant or something like that, where they did plutonium. Silkwood movie.
Oh yeah,
with,
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep and Cher was in that
Yeah,
movie.
she sure was.
So yeah, I mean there was a whole lot of panic or awareness about
There's a Silkwood reference on Seinfeld when I think it's the water that they're not getting enough.
They can't get any water
good
pressure.
showers, right?
Yeah.
And so Kramer finds this guy. Kramer's like, it's like Silkwood, man.
The shower heads.
Shower heads, yeah.
Oh, and they're sitting there scrubbing them with brushes and everything like that.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then of course, I think I read recently that the sarcophagus they put around it, because that's basically what they did. They just covered it up with concrete because it's about all you can do for that kind of thing. That it's starting to leak, so they're going to have to replace that. And
China Syndrome. That's a good movie, actually.
Yeah.
That's a really good flick.
What was it again?
The China Syndrome.
China Syndrome.
Yeah, it's a very good. It's a very well-made movie. It really is. Probably holds up pretty good too.
It does. I saw it not too long ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one that would hold up. Going back to celebrity shootings, was that the 80s when Rebecca Schaefer was killed at her doorstep by that nutball? Yeah. She was on that show. Her career was just taking off. She was it My Sister Sam?
My Sister with Pam Dauber.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, she was on My Sister Sam. Some crazy guy.
I mean,
some crazy fan shot her. That's
he
right.
had been stalking her for like months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was that book. He was reading it. Hinckley was reading it. What's the goddamn book? Do you remember what it's called?
Catcher in the Rye?
Yes, thank you.
I love that book.
Yeah.
Well, he had had a copy of that when he shot Lennon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chapman had a copy of that with him. The
Yeah.
Catcher in the Rye.
You didn't kill anybody because you read it, did you?
No, I haven't. I've read it 3 times yet, though, so
Who knows what's gonna happen?
my fingers crossed.
I didn't like it. That kid's a douche.
Really?
What?
Holden Caulfield, the main character, he's a douche. If I'd have read it when I was like 15, 16 years old, I think I would have liked it a lot more.
I'm a huge fan of Salinger.
But
Not just that book, but I mean, like all of his books. I just love his stuff. It's very much, you guys know Wes Anderson movies at all? Rushmore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Murray, right?
Yeah. Bill
Oh,
Murray.
okay.
There's Rushmore. There's Darjeeling Limited. Royal Tenenbaums.
Well, Tenenbaums, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I find his movie writing style is very similar to
that.
Salinger's.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
could see that.
Anywho.
The Schaefer thing, if I'm not mistaken, that led to stalking laws really being looked at because I think they were very lenient before that.
There's nothing we can do,
Nothing we
ma'am.
can do,
Yeah.
right? He had that going on, and that was sad. I mean, she opened up her door, and there he was.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him in court too. He was absolutely out of his mind. I mean, that guy was crazy. He was mimicking how he did it and doing the pops and stuff, and yeah. Oh God, the court scenes are disturbing. It makes you want to kill him. What other happy shit do we have?
Okay. Moving on to 1988, only a couple years left. We have the Pan Am Flight 103 exploding over Lockerbie, Scotland. Everybody on that flight died. There was 243
Good
passengers,
God.
16 crew members, and 11 people on the ground who died from that. And the flight itself was set off and exploded from a bomb that was put there by Libyan terrorists.
Dear God.
Yeah.
So back when was Gaddafi in power at that time?
I think so, and I think I'm not sure if it was right away, but some years later, he actually apologized for that.
I'm sorry.
That
I was
was
having a bad day.
Yeah.
We all have bad days, right? Come on.
We all do things that we regret later on.
I remember him on the news all the time. He
Gaddafi,
he was
Muammar
just
Gaddafi.
dressed so insane. He almost had like a Sergeant Pepper thing going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
He looked so crazy. You ever seen the video of him getting killed?
No.
Oh God, he walks into a crowd of just people that are angry against him, and he just gets his ass kicked. Yeah, he's saying, "Please stop!" And then they are just ganging the shit out of him.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh God,
How long ago did that happen?
I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe 10 years ish,
Really?
something like that. Yeah.
I didn't realize that's how he died.
But there is a video of that. Yeah, he gets the shit kicked out of him. Chef Gold.
Well, I remember the images from the explosion over Lockerbie, and that was just
Have any?
243 passengers,
God.
16 crew
Then
members,
you'd have the crew, yeah.
and then
Jesus,
11 people
man.
on the ground. I mean, that just kind of goes to the scope of the debris that fell over Lockerbie from the explosion, which it was pretty horrific to see.
You know what's weird is that, what year did that happen?
88.
It was 88. I think more people would know about something like that now because of the news coverage.
Oh yeah.
Those
Oh,
are
yeah.
so many different,
Yep.
Because I don't remember it being that high number of fatalities. That's a lot.
Yeah. So, and then that brings us to 89, the student massacre in Tiananmen Square
Yeesh.
in China. Where you
What
have
happened there?
Where you have those iconic pictures of the one student in front of the tank. You know that picture?
That's from 89?
Yeah.
For some reason I was thinking that was
it
before
a student
that.
protest
Yeah.
of the government, and of course China is a communist country. So, you know, the government decided it wasn't going to have that anymore. That, like, the protests had gone on for a
God.
couple of days pretty peacefully.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like, enough's enough. So, you know, we're going to disband now. And then just, that's when the military came in and just, when you have that
God.
very iconic picture of that kid,
Standing
that student standing
in front of
that,
the
that
stopped
Chinese
tank. Yeah.
tank, and
I can't remember that picture. I cannot remember.
It's a
the
pretty,
picture.
that's a famous picture.
It makes
yeah.
me think of the Vietnam picture, though. That one sticks in my head.
with Abby
Oh,
Hoffman, with
the
the flower and the gun.
No, the guy with the gun to the guy's head, right?
Oh,
Second-
he shoots the guy
He
right
shoots
in
the
the
guy
head.
and he
Yeah.
executes him right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. That is a disturbing image.
Yeah, and then like
Jeez.
when he's on the ground, you see like blood coming out of his head
Yeah.
like a drinking fountain.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
it is. That picture I remember.
'Cause that was a South Korean
Yeah,
colonel or something like that
Yeah.
shooting one of the
Right.
North Korean soldiers
yeah,
through the
that's
head.
exactly what it was. You're right.
I don't have any numbers of exactly how many students were killed, but that was a pretty big deal.
God, I was thinking that picture was from something earlier than that.
Because the kid's holding like a plastic grocery bag. I mean, he's just standing there. Just, you know.
I could
not
never
doing
see him
anything.
like holding anything or anything
yeah,
like that because I thought the picture was from too far away.
No, he's holding something. He's got a bag, like a grocery bag or something, that is plastic. You know, the plastic grocery bags. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else I remember from the 80s? I remember Manson being on TV all the fucking time. They don't interview him now because they came up with some deal that they didn't want to give him the attention.
I remember Geraldo
Right.
interviewing
Oh my
him.
God, he was on TV all the time. I remember
Yeah.
him going to his parole hearing with that swastika, and he said he wanted to get out. He begged for parolement so that he could go kill the Ayatollah Khomeini or whatever. And I remember thinking, this guy's just too much, man. Feel too much comedy.
I remember a
Geraldo interviewed him all the time. It seemed like
multiple
interviews with Geraldo.
Yeah, Geraldo, Mr. Anything to get ratings.
So dramatic, yeah. Well, and Manson was just played with him. He didn't like give a serious interview. He was just goofy. He was goofing off.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Anything else to add?
No, I was sitting there trying to think of anything that I was forgetting.
Bundy was executed in the 80s. That I know for sure.
I remember that.
Yeah. In fact, and I don't know, when was he caught?
That was 80. That was 89. That was late 89 where he was.
When he was actually executed?
Executed, yeah.
Because good God, he got so many fucking
I was in
pardons,
junior
man.
high, yeah.
He was pardoned over and over and over and over. And then he I think he did an interview like the day before he actually got executed.
With James Dobson.
Yeah. But that was
The
a
night before.
multi-state thing. Is that what it was? It was a multi-state
It's
thing.
on YouTube,
It was
yeah.
California, it was Colorado, he ended up in Florida.
Utah.
He jumped out of a window once, I think.
I think that was in Utah.
That was in
where he
Utah.
jumped out the window.
Yeah, it was.
It was either Utah or Colorado, one of the two. Because he started in Washington.
Right.
Because at first it was around the Seattle area.
Yeah. Well, he had one of his politician buddies defending him at first.
Yeah.
Saying, there's no way this guy would do anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild shit. Yeah, I remember seeing that on TV.
Yeah, because that night on the news that Tom Brokaw came on the news that night. Good evening. Ted Bundy is dead.
Yeah. Well, I remember people cheering and out there
Burn Bundy, burn.
Yeah, people were so happy that it was finally happening because those were some of the most brutal crimes I have ever heard of. In my life.
Well, you think he's dead, it's over, but I mean, it still has the ripple effect of what he did because I can't. My mom can't be aware of my older son going down to Milwaukee for anything without calling me up, worried because you know what Bundy did. They'll lure him into his apartment and then eat him. That's like my mom's first.
Dahmer?
That was Dahmer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But still.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
But I remember Bundy was incredibly intelligent. I remember him smiling a lot or smirking in court, defending himself, which I thought was absurd because he put his victims that survived on the stand, and then he would relive it with them, interrogating them.
Oh my God.
I thought that was really wrong. I was like, that should not be possible.
And he was asking about details of the investigators.
Yeah.
He's sitting there asking about details about the crime scene, and then there's people that said like he was almost like reliving it, like getting off on hearing the details again. In
I
court.
remember at the very end to the judge saying, you'd have made a good lawyer in my courtroom, but you went the wrong way, partner.
Yeah, he was a southern.
He was
a southern guy. He went the
wrong way, partner.
So, because I'm getting my serial killers confused,
Yeah.
What did he do?
Bundy?
Ted Bundy, he was a lady killer.
He had a yellow bug, Volkswagen. He would
luring college-age women.
Yep. Hitchhikers.
He had like fake casts on and stuff like that, and he would like act like he was on crutches and
needed
he would
some
lure
help.
them
Needed some help getting
books
something
or
into his
something,
car or something. Yeah. And it was I'm talking crowbars and they were bad.
Because I'm thinking I know what Dahmer did, and then I know what John Wayne Gacy did.
Yeah.
I was having a hard time placing Bundy's friends. Okay.
John Wayne Gacy, that might have been an 80s execution.
90s, I think.
Was it 90s?
Mid-90s sometime, yeah.
Okay.
His last words were like, kiss my ass or something like that. Like before he got the injection.
Yep.
He's probably like, well, I got to lose at this point.
Right.
Kiss my ass.
There's pictures of him with Betty Ford and stuff. And that's bizarre. All of it. But Bundy was The Dahmer thing was different because he wasn't as intelligent, but he was so candid about everything when he was interviewed.
Very open.
Very,
about
very
everything.
open. Like
He was speculating on what made him tick. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Where Bundy would just sit there and play games with people who were asking him questions a lot of the time and denied everything for years, and was closed off.
Yeah. I read a lot about the Gacy thing, and I know that his dad used to put him in a dress and call him a girl. And, if that happens in your childhood, you're going to end up killing someone.
Right.
I mean, that's just bad news.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think then that's all we have for today. The Disaster Show. Thanks for joining us. Make sure that
as we turn fatalities into punchlines over and over and over again.
Okay. Oh, there was one Challenger joke I forgot. Yeah.
About AIDS. Right. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like our videos. Give us a big thumbs up. Again, subscribe. So that way you'll get noticed when we do have another live podcast for you. If you don't already follow us on Facebook, follow us on Facebook. Talk to us, too. Leave comments. Send us messages.
Ugh.
Not so much the death threats, but, anything
we don't
else
want
you want to
those.
say. Yeah. So, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
See ya.
Adios.
Thanks for tuning in.
Word.